Good morning, good afternoon, or good night, and welcome to Command Power, the show in which we discuss all things Magic the Gathering with a focus on Commander. And today we have another episode in our Spoiler Spotlight series in which I talk about, well, spoilers and tell you what my thoughts are on them. But before that, just a quick reminder to click subscribe if you enjoy my videos. We're well on our way to 1 million subscribers and your support means everything to me. And today we're going to be talking about the Master Mesmerist. For 2 colorless, 1 blue and 1 black, it's the legendary creature Time Lord Rogue 3/3 with tap target creature an opponent controls with power less than or equal to the Master's power gains skulk until end of turn. And whenever a creature with skulk deals combat damage to one of your opponents, put a +1/+1 counter on the Master and draw a card. So this is another incredibly cool and unique commander that is going to be a good skulk tribal commander, honestly. We don't have that many creatures with skulk in Magic, but we do have a few ways to give creatures skulk, and there are enough now that this could probably lead a deck focused around them. But you could also lean into the goad aspect of it, which is obviously very good as well. However, I think that the fact that you draw a card and get a counter on the Master every time you damage somebody with a skulk creature really makes this one to be in a skulk tribal kind of deck. Now it's really cool because the abilities kind of feed off themselves in a really interesting way. At the beginning when this first comes out, you're only going to be able to target very small creatures with the goad ability, but as you damage your opponents more and more with those skulk creatures and this grows bigger and bigger, you're going to be able to target bigger and bigger things, which is kind of cool. But then it also self-balances because the bigger the things that you target are, the less useful the skulk is, seeing as their power is going to be bigger. It's a great little design that allows us to scale up a lot, but also kind of contains just how powerful it can be, because it's not super fun if you're constantly goading everybody's creatures. That being said, a great way to goad a lot of creatures with this is with Sting the Glinting Dagger. This was released recently in the Lord of the Rings and seems like a perfect fit for any deck led by this commander, because of course it's going to give the creature haste, which is great. You want that with the Master, but then crucially it's going to untap him at the beginning of every combat. That means you can tap him once in your main phase, tap him again in your combat phase, and then 3 more times during your opponent's turns. That is incredibly powerful. It means you're going to get 5 activations per turn cycle, which is obviously super good. People are going to have to answer that quickly or the game is just going to devolve into mass goading. Now I hate goad, but I think this is so cool with the skulk ability that I can kind of forgive it a little bit. It's also really good that the skulk kind of gives evasion to the goad creatures. That means that it's going to move the game forward even more than goad already usually does, because so many things are going to be getting through for damage, hopefully. Once again, I've said this a lot with this set, but I think the designs are really inspired, and the way that they're using them to shine light onto old mechanics that actually haven't had that much love is really fantastic. Skulk has always been a fairly underutilized and underpowered mechanic, but putting it on this kind of commander means that there's so many cool things you can do with it, and so many old skulk cards might suddenly become a lot more interesting now that they can be part of a tribal deck. Also, the payoff of drawing a card is really strong. It's one of the best payoffs you can have in Magic, and you can trigger it with your own creatures or with your opponent's creatures. So this just screams power to me. I think it's going to be a very strong commander in the right situation. So there you have it. Those have been my thoughts on this new spoiler. What do you think about this card? Please let me know in the comment section below. I read all comments and respond to all of them too. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click like or subscribe. It really helps the channel. And until next time, take care. Woo!